Think about the last big decision you made. Maybe it was a job, a relationship, something you chose to walk away from. You probably remember weighing it up, thinking it through, sitting with it until the answer felt right. Here's the thing nobody tells you. By the time you felt like you were making that decision, it was already made. Not by someone else, by you, but by a part of you that you will never meet, never speak to, and never fully control. And science has the receipts. This isn't philosophy. This isn't a thought experiment. This is something that has been measured, recorded, and replicated in laboratories, and the finding is so uncomfortable that even the scientists who discovered it spent years trying to explain it away. You are not the one driving. You never have been. Right now, without realizing it, your brain is making calls. Small ones. Which direction your eyes move. Whether that person across the room feels safe or threatening. How you feel about a decision you think you haven't made yet. All of it is being processed, evaluated, and concluded somewhere beneath your awareness before a single conscious thought has formed. And here's the part that gets under your skin. Your conscious mind, the voice in your head you identify as you, doesn't initiate any of this. It receives it. It shows up after the fact, looks at what's already been decided, and quietly tells itself it was involved the whole time. You are not the author. You are the narrator, reading a story that was already written. How do we know this? In 1983, a neuroscientist named Benjamin Libet ran an experiment so simple it seems almost too small to matter. He asked people to flex their wrist whenever they felt like it. No specific timing, just whenever the urge arose. While they did it, he measured two things: the moment their brain fired the electrical signal preparing for movement, and the moment they consciously decided to move. He expected them to match. They didn't. The brain fired first, not slightly first. On average, 550 milliseconds before the person was consciously aware they had decided to move. More than half a second. The decision was already underway before awareness even entered the room. The body was being instructed, the machinery was in motion. And only then did the conscious mind receive the news and experience it as a choice it had just made. You were the last to know. But Libet's experiment only scratched the surface, because his subjects were just flexing a wrist. A simple, meaningless movement. What about real decisions? Meaningful ones. Ones that feel deeply, unmistakably yours. In 2008, neuroscientist John Haynes pushed this further than anyone thought possible. He put people in a brain scanner and asked them to press a button with either their left or right hand, completely freely, whenever they liked, whichever hand felt right. Then he did something extraordinary. He predicted which hand they were going to choose, not after they pressed it, before. By reading patterns of brain activity, his team could tell which hand a person was going to use up to 10 seconds before the person consciously decided to use it. 10 seconds, your brain had already chosen. Your conscious mind just hadn't received the memo yet. So if your conscious mind isn't making the decisions, what is? The answer is a system so vast and so fast that your awareness can barely glimpse it. Psychologist Timothy Wilson called it the adaptive unconscious, not the mysterious Freudian unconscious of repressed memories. Something far more ordinary and far more powerful. A processing engine running almost everything, almost all of the time, without ever asking for your input. Wilson estimated the brain takes in around 11 million bits of information every second. Your conscious mind handles about 40 bits out of 11 million. The rest is handled somewhere else. Automatically, silently, without filing a single report. And it doesn't just handle your body. It handles your judgments, your feelings about people, your sense of who to trust. Social psychologist John Bargh at Yale showed that people form complete impressions of strangers within milliseconds, long before conscious thought is even possible. Whether someone feels trustworthy, warm, threatening, it's decided before your conscious mind has processed a single fact about them. In one study, people who briefly held a warm cup of coffee before meeting a stranger rated that stranger as more generous and trustworthy than people who held a cold cup, a drink in your hand, shaping your judgment of another human being, before your conscious mind had a single piece of actual information to work with. You think you are reading the world. You are reading a summary, prepared for you in advance by a system that never sleeps, never asks permission, and never explains itself. So is any of it yours? Libet thought there was still something. He noticed a small window in the data, a gap between when the brain initiated an action and when it was completed. A moment in which the conscious mind could step in and say no, not start the process, but stop it. He called it free won't rather than free will. Not the power to choose, but the power to refuse. You may not be starting the car, but you might still be able to hit the brakes. Here is what that means for you. Every snap judgment you make, every gut feeling, every preference that feels completely and unmistakably yours. Almost all of it arrived from somewhere below, shaped by every experience you have ever had, every environment you have ever been in, every version of the world your brain decided was true before you were old enough to question any of it. Your awareness is real. What you experience is real. But it is a very small window into a very large process happening somewhere you will never fully see. You made a decision this morning. You felt certain it was yours. It was already made before you opened your eyes.